My neighbor in Houston came over to our house one day before I moved, and she's like, just promise me one thing. And I was like, what? She said, promise me you won't become a porn star.
Oh my God. That's the only advice my dad gave me moving out here. He said, don't get into porn. I was like, Dad, what the?
It's a slippery slope.
That's the one piece of advice.
I mean, but it's so true though, because like our parents, especially if they're very religious, they think Hollywood is sex, drugs, and what's the other one?
Money. Right?
Yes, money, sex, and drugs.
It is.
Straight up.
It is. Yeah.
That's what Hollywood stands for. Most of the, the older folks, older generation. But to us, it's like that's life now. Like honestly, unfortunately, but like we're here for a good time, not a long time, honestly.
Yeah, land of the fruits and nuts. And I was just like, technically still very accurate, but still.
Oh my God.
Not in a derogatory way.
No one cares about movies anymore. No one goes to the cinema. No one really watches network TV. Everyone's watching Netflix.
Welcome back, guys. This is After the Rodeo. We got a very special episode for you today, guys.
Indeed.
We are hosting today Raccoon's Milk. How are you guys doing today?
As good as we can be.
We're so happy to have you guys. Tell us a little bit more about who you are.
So, my name is Joanna. This is Jordan. This is Patrick. We are friends from Texas originally.
Hey.
That's how the squad came together. We're all involved in art in some capacity. It started with like our high school theater troupe, and we all ended up out in Los Angeles and just decided to start our own theater company. So.
Whoa.
That's
What part of
dope.
Texas?
We all met originally in Houston. So that was where it started.
H-Town.
Then we all just ended up out here. Patrick and I both went to college in the DFW area. I went to SMU. Patrick went to UNT. So yeah.
Is it completely different for you guys to be in theater in Texas than to be in theater in California?
Yeah, what's the scene over there?
I think the biggest difference about theater in Texas and theater in California is space. Because California, LA has like no space whatsoever, like 0% occupancy, and so it's all about finding that location that you can put up your art wherever that may be. And obviously with everything going on, we've had a couple of theaters closed down recently, so it's been a little bit more difficult, but I think that's the biggest adjustment, I would say.
Yeah. Also just the fact that, it's such a, TV and film scene out here. Theater's not as big as it is in other places. I was working for a theater company, which is really sad because it doesn't exist anymore, but there was an amazing theater company that I was working with in Dallas called House Party Theater, that were just putting up shows in like strange areas, and people really loved it. People came out and I was like, gosh, like LA needs something like this. So, we decided to take the copious amount of free time that we had from COVID and just get it started.
Yeah.
I mean, but honestly, it's a great time for you guys to build something up.
Yeah.
Just like how you said it yourself, it sucks how like that company, went out of business. But what if it would have been your company, There's nowhere but the sky to go up now too.
Yeah.
So you guys are starting at a perfect time, honestly. We wish you the very best. But other than that, then let's go ahead and start talking a little bit more then about what you guys have created. All of you guys are completely different people, but you guys got together. What about y'all's experience, personal experience, honestly? What have you guys have worked on beforehand in the past that got you here?
Well, I mean, I've been, acting in the theater scene since I was like practically in diapers, but I ended up, we all went to high school together. We were all in shows together in high school, and we kind of realized like, oh my gosh, we all like really love to do this in like some capacity, like acting mainly, but I ended up going to college for acting as well. So I graduated from SMU, having done that out of the Meadow School.
Yes, sir. Go Mustangs.
Right? Yeah. And it's kind of crazy. I had this like...
I see you. I know.
I had this like crazy, amazing college experience because my sister ended up getting in to SMU as well, like for opera originally.
Oh, wow.
So we were there together while my dad was also coaching basketball there. So it was like a crazy, awesome.
whole fam.
Yeah, whole family affair. So then after that, I was kind of just like bouncing around like the regional theater scene in Dallas, did some shows with like Dallas Theater Center, like those types of places. And before COVID hit, I was like in a musical that was supposed to be running for like 3 months, and we opened the show and then all the theaters closed. So
Man, that sucks. I was actually supposed to go to SNL over there in New York. I love SNL. I'm a big fan. I actually got tickets because, you know, they don't sell them. You got to like wait in the lottery. And if you get selected, then you got to fly out on the date that they give you. Now, you don't get to choose. And man, next thing you know, I get the email. I was planning ahead already.
Oh no.
Nah, COVID. Nah, you ain't going anywhere.
right. Jordan actually auditioned for SNL before COVID.
But now that we're talking about like acting and everything, what about you guys? Like, is it hard for you to get into character? Have you ever had trouble?
I think everybody has their own process, right? And it all comes from your background of your process. And like we keep talking about Texas. And what's weird about our little crew is that all of our little tricks that we started out with originally are the same. Or like a lot of or a lot of our warm-ups, like physical vocal warm-ups, are the exact same. And like I know I still use my same ones from high school to this day. Like they help me the most. But
Nice.
a lot of our like background knowledge, or what it was our first introduction to acting, was through the same teacher, Angie Andrews, which we should shout out right now. If we're gonna talking about all this work, all these years later.
She's still out there in Houston.
Pearland, actually.
Pearland.
Yeah, let us know. Talk to us.
I moved out to LA in 2013 after we all graduated high school together. And the reason I started theater with them is because I didn't make it on the cheer team when I moved to Houston.
I forgot about that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was crying on the bus ride home, and our friend Katie suggested that I tried out for the theater company, and it was the best decision I ever could have made, because I actually watched a lot of SNL growing up too. That was like my main inspiration to get into acting. And so I went to the New York Film Academy in Burbank out here, and went there for, it's like a fast track program for a BFA in acting for film. And so I did that over the course of 3 years, and then just been out here hustling, trying, putting my best foot forward. And a lot of that is just like short films, student short films, features, commercials, web series, whatever you can get your hands on that they act.
Oh wow, so you got so much experience then. What about commercials? Because honestly, I feel like that's the most underrated, aspect. You got to go ahead and get to like, what are the ad agencies and all of those, but they pay pretty good, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, is that commercials is the money, which it like hurts the most, because it's the least amount of time.
And like the least like real acting.
Yeah. You do the same thing like 40 times in a row, and then they pay you $500 for like 4
eat a
hours
slice
of work.
of pizza.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's so simple. Right. So then let me ask you this then, guys, is you guys got to get into characters, and it seems to be pretty easy for you guys. You guys nailed it. But are there any off-limit characters that you do not want to do?
I think that always comes down to like the question of the artist versus the person, and like what's in line with your morals, and if you can set those aside to do the character.
I find myself in that position a lot, because just in like you start to realize like you're gonna get continuously like typecast, right? And like my problem, like I'm always like cast as like the slut, the prostitute, like the bitchy like hot girl. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm really religious, and I, like, I don't want to be cursing or like, partially nude or, like things like that. Like it gets uncomfortable, but like you got to do it, and it's, it's just part of the hustle.
Man, we can't even act. I feel like I'm the worst liar. Like if someone tells me something and like I try to lie, like they're gonna catch me right away. Like I'm just a bad actor, honestly.
No, but I don't think
I completely agree. That's why I feel like we do the podcast, because it's just a natural conversation.
Exactly.
For me personally, the script and everything, I'd be like, man, I try to like improvise or something. Because
we were even talking about that the other day. Like I feel like this is harder for me to do.
Oh, yeah.
Like like the people
What?
that the people that do like the YouTube thing and are like talking to the camera like it's like a convert, like that to me is harder. Like I've always found it's harder to do like public speaking, like making presentations like in school. Like I would get so nervous to do that.
Just to be yourself.
Yeah.
And not like have a character to mask it with, you know.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, dang, that's crazy to think about though.
I never really thought about that too, man. That's crazy. But other than that, guys, is it hard to differentiate like your persona then? Like who you are as a person? I don't know if you guys have seen, The Dark Knight, and there's this actor called Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Have you heard of him?
Of course.
Yeah.
He went crazy.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really, like, to be honest, and like this might make me sound bad, like I don't think I've ever really committed that much.
Oh,
We're not method enough.
Some directors
Apparently,
are.
I'm not method enough.
At the end of the day, you're reading something, and how you're gonna learn something by reading or by writing it down, analyzing all of this. So honestly, it's great to develop yourself, and you do get a better persona eventually, honestly, but it could lead into the wrong direction sometimes. So you just gotta be careful. So be careful, guys.
I think that's another big part of it in like art in general, is that it always comes to you for a reason. Or like there's a reason that you specifically are in that show or doing that project, that you could bring something, or like your knowledge or expertise or something of wisdom that you needed to learn from it
Yeah.
to complete it.
So then let me ask you this then now. So we're from Texas. We're actually here in Dallas, Texas. You guys are Texans. Have you guys met anyone popular, anyone like well-known celebrity over there in California now that you're living in Los
That are
Angeles?
Texan specifically, or no?
Yeah, anybody.
Oh.
I've got one celebrity story that I'd like to share.
Yeah.
I went to a club, this was a couple years ago, and some promoter bullshit. We got in and we were there
Nice.
talking, and my roommate hit it off with this one girl, and then we ended up going back to this girl's house, and these two like big old Cadillac SUVs pull up, and we're like, I guess we're going in there. And then we started driving up into the Hollywood Hills, and then we get to this house. It's like decked out, clean, doesn't look like anybody lives in it, and we're just kind of there partying for a little bit. And we kind of noticed a divide, like no one's really talking with us, and we're like, this is weird. And there's like a super drunk guy I was sitting next to in the car, and there was a guy that walks out from the house that looks exactly like him, and I realized it was the Winklevoss twins.
Oh wow.
The Facebook, yeah.
He's like, who are you talking about?
I wouldn't have known.
No.
Bitcoin billionaires out there.
Yeah, it was the Facebook twins.
Whoa.
And they just like
That's
had
crazy.
us skedaddle on out of there real fast, but it was cool, like for the moment.
You're out in LA and you start to get like really used to it, because it's just like, I mean, regardless of if it's a celebrity or like almost everybody out here like is somebody from something, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys think that a lot of things from Hollywood, whether it's movies, whether it's, books, do you think that people dream and then they write it down and then they make it into reality, or they just are coming off of drugs, acid?
I mean, there's a pretty good chance, you know.
Yeah. I'd say as many great ideas as people have on drugs, they usually don't play out. Like, it's usually like...
That's crazy though, but props to you guys making the move. You guys really did like something that not many people would do. So what do you got to tell those people that want to go follow the California dream? You would say, like,
Exactly.
what do you recommend to those folks?
Start saving your money now. It goes so fast. This town is so stupid expensive. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But
yeah. No, go ahead.
What were you gonna say?
No, I was just like, don't glamorize.
Yeah.
Don't glamorize LA. Like, yes, like when I moved out here for film, and like, yes, this is the best place to do it. But also, like, there's so many other ways. Like, you're just gonna have to make it on your own, regardless. And start saving your money now. But like, just do it. Like, just come. Like, it's really not that hard. Like,
that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
It's just getting here.
Like, a lot of people like say like, oh man, like, yeah, LA would be so cool, but like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, oh, like I haven't found a job yet, or I haven't like whatever. But yeah, just come test it out, whatever. Like, save up a little bit, save up enough for like a month or two, and then come out here and try.
It's a great place for just like anybody that's in a transitional phase in their life, because at the end of the day, you can make money doing literally anything. Just name it. There's something you can do with it in Los Angeles. But like but also you need to be prepared for everything to not work out. Like every, you know, like connection that you think you have, like, oh, I know this person or this person, like they're gonna help me. That's not a thing.
That's so true. You got if you're gonna go out there, you really got to go out on your own.
Yeah.
And I will say, at least for me, and I feel like what I've seen with my friends is that the first year, or like maybe it's a little more than a year, maybe it's a less than a year in LA, kind of sucks. Like when you're trying to get on your feet, you're like, you know, if you're leaving your friend group, and you know that kind of sucks. But like culturally, LA is kind of weird. It's not as easy to like bump into people and meet them on the street. Like you don't see someone unless you like make the time to see them. So it's like. And even like the dating is really weird out here.
Yeah.
And
that's so true. How is that? Tell me a little bit more, man. As a guy to guy, Patrick, the girls can walk out. Just go ahead and close the door.
I'm just gonna say that I left like post breakup in Texas, like so ready to just come out to LA and like there's gonna be so many hot girls. I'm gonna be surrounded by beautiful women, and it's gonna be great. But there's also so many beautiful men here. Like, it's like, it evens out.
It's the most beautiful people in the world. And people that know they're beautiful. And it's almost like a situation of, like, you're out with people and it's like, sure, you're having, like, a great conversation with, you know, somebody you're into. But, like, the entire time you're there, they're, like, looking over your shoulder to see, like, if anybody else cooler has, like, come in the door. It's, like, very... Wow. Nobody wants to settle down. Everybody's like, oh, I could be single forever and just... endlessly date, you know, hot people. It's like, I
feel like I've had the opposite experience a couple of times. Like, I feel like everyone in LA is either like, like that, like super spaced, like not trying to make any commitments in the next 10 years, or they're like ready to propose the next evening.
Okay.
There's no middle ground. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
Wait, to be fair, the reason that she's saying that, I feel like, is because you hang out with a lot of the international crowd.
That is not why.
Through New York Film Academy, a lot of it is international, and a lot of people wanting their green card.
I'm talking about white boy Americans, okay? Because I think people here are kind of cold, and so when they find the smallest bit of warmth, it's like, oh my God, marry me. Like, let's make this last forever.
That's true too.
I mean, but then you got to think about it this way. So I can see the idea if like LA being super like, you know, full of culture, full of like ideas. And like when you find someone that has about the same ideas, same mindset, you want to propose the next day. I can kind of see that. I would never do that, but I can kind of see that. But then I can kind of see also where you said that, you know, you always look around and see who's cooler, or like you don't want to be committed to something.
That's the culture I thought of whenever I hear LA dating.
And I feel like that's where you gotta be. I see it. If you want to make it, you can't like limit yourself.
Mm-hmm. And it's such a hustle out here, you know. Like a lot of people are like looking for partners that can help them with their like career. Because you find yourself in a lot of situations. I mean, like me like specifically like through music and like trying to record music. Like the music industry is such a male-driven industry, right? So I don't know how to produce. I sing, but like me working with people, like there's so many guys that are just like in it to help you, hoping they'll get something out of it, you know, and you gotta like decide like how much is my career worth it to me? Not at all. Not a percentage.
Honestly, I feel like you're gonna have to probably milk that situation out. Just like, go ahead and give me those beats. Hold up, wait, I'm busy this week, but can you still make those beats, please?
I will never forget this though. I remember I was this was years ago. I was in an Uber in Dallas. I was like going to some bar, like probably like in Uptown or something. And I just started this conversation with my Uber driver, and I was like, oh, well, I'm getting ready to like move to Los Angeles. And he was like, Los Angeles? Like, I hope you're just ready to sleep with anyone, anywhere, any time of the day. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? about.
I had my neighbor in Houston came over to our house one day before I moved, and she's like, "Just promise me one thing." And I was like, "What?" She said, "Promise me you won't become a porn star."
Oh my God. That's the only advice my dad gave me moving out here. He said, "Don't get into porn." I was like, "Dad, what the?"
It's a slippery slope.
That's the one piece of advice.
I mean, but it's so true though, because like our parents, especially if they're very religious, they think Hollywood is sex, drugs, and what's the other one?
Money. Right?
Yes, money, sex,
Well,
and drugs.
it is.
Straight
It
up.
is.
That's what
Yeah.
Hollywood stands for. Most of the the older folks, older generation. But to us, it's like that's life now. Like honestly, unfortunately, but like we're here for a good time, not a long time, honestly.
Yeah, land of the fruits and nuts. And I was just like, technically still very accurate, but still,
Oh my gosh.
not in a derogatory way.
It's a lot of like going through the bad to get to the good, essentially.
Yeah, and to bring it full circle, that's all we're trying to do with this. It's like, at the end of the day, we're all very different and we have different levels of expertise that we can all bring something different to the table, and we want to make that platform for other artists, out here that are trying to do the same thing and that are struggling. We want to like bring everybody up together.
And if you can make it in LA, you can make it anywhere else.
Well, I mean, yeah, to an extent. I feel like New York is maybe a little bit tougher, but the other thing is too, like, theater, it's like, I don't want to say it's like a dying art, but like less and less people are going out and going to go see, actors perform live. And I with this also, like, we really want to see creatively, like, how we can get more people who wouldn't typically go out and watch theater, like, into it, involved in some capacity.
Yeah, I think the main thing that this is, for me at least, is a lot of people come to LA with big dreams and then realize they have to make money. So they kind of like, you're slowly selling your soul to kind of like watering down your expectations of making art versus like, oh, well, if I am in commercials, I make more money. If I edit music videos and commercials, like, that's more money. Maybe I won't be able to like create, direct the film that I wanted to, but I'm gonna get a job here, and like, oh, you get comfortable in it, and this is a great release for just like, no, what, fuck it, we're gonna create our own thing. We're gonna do what we want to do with it. We're gonna express art how we want to, and keep that like channel going, so you don't lose sight of like, what you want to create.
And ideally, like, from that, I mean, we want to get to a point, I mean, after our first show, which we've got going on here, we want to get to a point where, since we all are so, talented in different ways, we want to be able to like write our own pieces, direct our own pieces, act in our own pieces. That way we're hitting each button and, getting all of that urge to create, out there.
They literally posted $1,000 goal, and like 24 hours it was 1,300. That was
Yeah, right. We're like,
congrats. I will leave the link in the description below.
Exactly.
Raise it to 2,000. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. It's all going toward, we should mention that too, maybe. It's all going towards licensing and like setting up a stage.
Yeah, we're not rigging any money.
Yeah.
You guys aren't buying bottles at the clubs? Just making sure
We're actually, we're building a stage this Sunday. We're going to Home Depot and spending most of that money to build our stage.
Putting our blood, sweat, and tears into our own stage that can move around to different places and different venues and put up shit anytime, any place.
Yes. It's gonna be so much fun seeing you guys grow. Like, you guys are gonna do so many crazy things, and we will be there as a team watching you guys and making sure that you guys get the reach that you guys deserve.
Exactly.
We can't thank you enough for finding us and giving us this
this
opportunity to talk about it. It's that Southern hospitality. It's deep rooted, the Southern hospitality.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
But other than that, guys, anything else that you guys want to, tell the audience?
Where could they find you?
You can follow us on Instagram at Raccoon's Milk, exactly how those words are spelled. Our GoFundMe link is available in that bio. Anybody that's listening that happens to find themselves in the LA area or lives in the LA area, mid-November, we are putting up a secret COVID compliant show. So you can DM our Instagram for those details. if you are in the area. And yeah, just stay tuned. Follow us. We'll be, from here on out, be putting up shows regularly. So
I love it. I love it. So guys, this was Patrick, Joanna, and Jordan. So thank you guys so much for coming. We really do appreciate the time that you gave us. We know LA is very busy. So you guys are welcome anytime. But other than that, guys, this was a great episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We can't do this without you guys. And whoever tuned in to the live podcast last night, let's not talk about it. Other than that, guys, like, comment, subscribe. We gotta go. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace. We're out.
thank you so much.
Baby.